So here's what happened in next turn. Things went pretty bad for me. The Mornfang managed to charge the big expensive dwarf unit, and they proved their points because they managed to kill both the Mornfang. Mornfang actually flubbed all of their attacks, though. Was kind of what also happened.
Yeah.
But luckily, we had enough impact hits that we actually did some damage. As a matter of fact, the only damage we did was the impact hits. So, and the Rhinox and the rider, the Leadbelcher riding the Rhinox, also flubbed all of their attacks as well. So that was basically the biggest thing. Everything else was just me kind of positioning, moving these guys up to kind of help get a charge later if he can survive. The Noblars jumped out so that they could take the Sorcerer's Portal hits rather than my expensive Mornfang cavalry. And the Lord walked back onto the thing, going to try to get 100 victory points off killing this cannon, but I'm going to get shot at least one more time before I take that out. So really it's just going to be the cannon, and then everyone's going to kind of try to race and try to kind of converge on the Lord unit. And that's basically about it.
Well, just a little tidbit. If you guys are paying attention, you might have noticed that my Lord was actually on there, over here, fighting the Rhinox. But the toughness of the Mornfang's only 4. He's strength 5, so I decided to make way to take, because I thought I had a better chance to fight the Mornfang, which he did, because he has always strike first and +1 strength. So that ended up giving me the edge over the Mornfang, even though the Mornfang did fluster attacks. But that's just a little tactical note what my thought process was on moving my Lord to engage the Mornfang.
So now he just got the big 140 points, victory points from Mornfang, and he's also got that scrap launcher. So he's coming back. We got to see if we can't do something about this big, hefty Lord unit.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and alright.
Go to his next turn.
Alright, so movement. That was just did dwarf turn 4. To turn around with the cannon, I figured I had a good shot of. I didn't really have a good shot at taking out the Lord, but I had nothing else to do, so I did that. And it ended up happening. He failed his lookout, sir. So I was like, holy crap, awesome. But I only did 2 wounds, so not so awesome. But, so they were pretty much dead next turn. And that's not 100 points, it's 135 because all of the rooms. So that's 135 points pretty much gone. It lost 1 guy and 1 more dwarf to the Rhinox, but we ended up slaying the Rhinox. And I couldn't overrun because we've been in that combat forever. She can't overrun, but I did reborn to try and take the charge from the Bulls, and I'm probably going to get charged by the Noblars and the Bulls, and so looking bleak for the Dwarves, but they're stubbornly fighting to the last dwarf, like Dwarves. It's your turn, so you can go ahead and talk about how.
So basically, if you bring the camera over here, basically here's what happened. Everything charged. The Noblars charged the rear. The Bulls charged the front. Didn't roll too high for the charge, so didn't get the D3 impact hits. The Lord unit charged the cannon that was here, completely and totally annihilated them, and overran up to make sure that they were going to be able to support. What happened in the combat? Actually, the combat actually went really poorly for me. I only killed 4 dwarves. I only won combat because of rear charges, ranks for the Noblars, and all that stuff. So, unbelievably, it took him down to only basically his characters left. But even though he had a BSB, he rolled a 12. He rolled a 12 the first time for his break, and then an 11 the second time.
Needing 9s. Needing a 9.
Yeah. So either way, it was a good game. But I did end up pursuing him and catching him with the Bulls, so annihilating his army. So
it was a good game.
It was a good game overall. But yeah, I think my personal opinion, it was the game changer. The thing that paved the way for the game was the scouts that were kind of pretty close up. The big thing that the Dwarves would have had was some shooting to try to wear me down a little bit before I came up. But those scouts actually charging me on turn 2 managed to let me take them out and move into position to fight him later on.
Charge the Thunderers.
And charge the Thunderers.
Not being able to stand a shoot.
Right.
because he was in 6 inches.
Right.
So, that's the game.
That's game, and thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the Ogres versus
Dwarves.
Dwarves.
Right.
I have a recap to just see what we could have done differently. I think overall, Ogres really just need to charge in quickly, and I think I had my bulls in kind of a bad position. I deployed my Noblars first in order to not let him know where my stronger units were. But because of the deployment and because he had such a small army that was, in kind of one little corner, it actually made my units kind of bottle each other up, and actually my bulls ended up being behind the Noblars, which is not really where I wanted them to be. I wanted them to get up quickly. And so the one unit of bulls was kind of slow getting there at the end. It ended up working out for me because they ended up luckily being in position to charge his Lord unit at the end there. But that was just pure luck. At the end, that wasn't any kind of tactical genius on my part. So really should have deployed better and made sure that my guys had a good marching direction to get to the combat as quickly as possible. But other than that, I think everything else just came down to luck.
Alright, so what I did, what I think I could have done, my list actually was tailored to be a generic 1250 list. So it had anti-magic in there, and him not having magic costed me about 100 and at least 200 points in anti-magic gear. I had a Rune Priest with a Scroll of Dispel, and then I also had a, what else did he have? Yeah, a Master Rune of Spellbinding, which is 75 points, and Rune of Spellbreaking. Rule of Spellbreaking. So I actually had 150 points in anti-magic that didn't even get to take a part in the battle. The only thing that he did do, he did have a great weapon, so he was smacking Ogres with his 2 attacks. Another thing that kind of sucked, but it's like I said, it's is I had the Master Rune of Garanji, which is also anti-magic, which gives me a 5-up ward save against missile attacks, and also a 5-up ward save against magic missiles. So with the the Dwarves innate magic resist 2, that gives me a 3-up ward save against all magic missile attack, which is good. My entire army, was it small, which it was supposed to be, would have the envelope of the 3-up ward save against any missile or any magic missiles. Which normally there's a lot of our players that we play with one heavy magic list, and most players do. It just the list was not good against an entirely close combat oriented move up shoot army. So I was just when I was deploying, I knew I was clearly outmatched just by the army listing. Also, the scouts was a bad move on my part. I shouldn't bring the scouts in just a small game. They didn't do anything productive, and not scouts or rangers. But they have great weapons. I normally bring them in to take out war machines. I'm not going to bring them again in a smaller point list. I'll probably just bring Longbeards with great weapons instead. And there you go. There's weapon skill 5, strength 6. Yeah, leadership 9, which is pretty impressive. They're pretty expensive though, but dwarves are expensive. Shooting was subpar. I only had 1 unit of Thunderers. He sniped that, nothing I can do against that. And the cannon, I think I did the cannon the best I could do with what I had. Deployment I thought was good. I need to retool my list, and hopefully next time people will bring magic so I'm not wasting points, because having 250 points wasted in a 1250 point game, it's about 1,000 points versus 1250, so it kind of put me behind by 250 points.
But and a note on why I didn't take the Butcher, just didn't have the points for it myself in a 1250 lift for Ogres. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go more shooting, more of a gun line and smaller points. I don't know what people call gun lines cheese, but I don't really have really much of a choice, I think, to be effective at such a low point cost. And what else? That's the thing about it. I think that's just need to learn to play dwarves at a smaller point. 2400, I do pretty. I've won more than I lost at 2400 point. As we know, it was a draw and then one win. But we'll see. Well, I have to keep playing it. Definitely, I cannot do the multi-function like I normally do with dwarves. I can't do magic, anti-magic, shooting, and close combat. I'll have to specialize at lower points. But yeah, thanks for watching our battle reports. Please leave comments. Let us know what we can do to be better at it. This is our first one. We're kind of popping our YouTube virginity here. And just let us know. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.